Good morning. It is May 28th and the May 28th Bar Talk edition. We happen to have something new that's come out of the judicial branch as of yesterday evening. And that is this COVID-19 phased management plan. If you haven't had a chance to look at it, I encourage you to do so. It's dated May 27th and version 1. And it is several pages long. 12 pages long, 13 pages long with a 2-page addendum, which are the instructions for, the 2-page addendum is the instruction for entering the courthouse for visitors and the like. So the big part that I took away from the management plan is that there will be no jury trials until September. And also, for those of you that have FED cases, small claims cases pending in the wings, those cases won't start to be heard, and that's by essentially discretion of the court that you're in, won't be heard until August. So we still have a long haul for those landlords and tenants out there. Aside from that, I don't think there was anything surprising in the rollout plan. It talked about what's required of you. You need to make sure you wear a mask when you enter the courthouse, and that the courthouse will start with some regular hours, or at least 8 to 4. They will be open during, I believe it's the phase in 1 plan. Yes. So starting June 1st, the courts will be open from 8 to 4. And it won't be until later in the rollout will they be open from 8 until 4:30. So have a look. There was also a press release issued by the Communications Directorate on the same. There are newspaper editors or writers that are looking to get comments on the same. You've heard the fallout for our Cumberland County restaurants and York County and Androscoggin County restaurants from yesterday. There's no indoor seating for a little while longer. And with that, we have a very special guest that has joined us in the past by message, but this time we have her as part of Bar Talk. We have Dean Softly, newly minted, to tell us a little bit about what she's doing with the law school, and to tell us a little bit about how she envisions the Bar Association and the court system essentially being part of the law school's success. Dean Softly, I see you there. I'm going to put myself on mute so I don't.
You know, I love this Zoom world where you can mute anyone. If only we had that when I was actually on the bench. No, I think we are all talking about the fact that meeting by Zoom, which seemed so new and wonderful when we first had to leave our personal meetings behind, is now turning out to be a bit exhausting. It's a hard thing to do business at a distance in these Brady Bunch viewings all the time, and it's a bit of a strain on all of us. People are getting a little bit tired of it, and a lot of that we're seeing in the phased reopenings. If you think about what's going on in the world, nothing actually has changed with regard to the coronavirus. We don't have a cure. We don't have a vaccine. The only thing that has changed is that we are losing patience with the restrictions and the distances. So we all have to be very, very careful as we begin to be in personal contact again. And as the governor noted, the number of positive tests is going up, and we're still having people in Maine die from the virus. So we have to be really careful in all of the planning going forward. And Thad has already stolen my first point for the morning, which is that the new rollout order from the court is available. I think you want to watch all of that very carefully, because if indeed Cumberland, York, and Androscoggin continue to experience the rise in the number of people who are positive for the virus, and particularly the very sad rise in the number of people dying, some of those things are going to shift again. So I just encourage everybody to watch the court's orders very carefully, as I do with great interest from afar. The world has changed a lot for me. The one thing I would note is that the 8 to 4 hours, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. of the courts beginning next week are actually the summer hours of the courts. So what you're seeing when the courts go 8 to 4:30 is just the end of summer hours, the normal return to the longer hours in September. So, but let's talk about the law school, because I know this is a very brief conversation. The law school is an amazing place. And I am here to tell you that I have always loved the law school. I've been a big supporter. I hated the conversations about whether or not Maine needed a law school. It absolutely has to have a thriving law school. What I didn't know was all the amazing things that are going on here right now. And I'm now encouraging lawyers to come back to law school to get new certificates in compliance law, in privacy, in environmental law, which can be very helpful in your careers. So we'll talk about that at much greater length when the world returns to normal. Let me tell you just a quick, I have two quick topics for the morning. One is what we're looking at for fall for the law school, and the other is how I hope to connect with the bar as we move forward. So I have about just over 4 weeks as dean under my belt, and I'm telling you that my learning curve is steeper than it has ever been. It's a whole new world. So there are many things I still don't know, and I'm meeting with people by Zoom as often as I possibly can. But even in the midst of all of this, we are having to plan for fall. So we already went through the graduation of the 3 Ls, and as you know, they did not get to walk across the stage. They didn't get to do all the wonderful things that usually end a law school career. It was very sad. It was really hard for a lot of the students. We did a virtual farewell, not a graduation online, but a virtual farewell, which was quite funny, with music from some of the professors who are really talented, and a lot of fun things from various students. That was great. We are planning on October 10th to have an actual graduation for the 3L class, if the world has opened up again by October, which it may not, but we're trying to be optimistic. So there will be, if everything is fine, there will be a big graduation for the 3Ls on October 10th. And the plan right now for fall is that we will have a hybrid of in-person and online for all of the classes. We will almost certainly have to continue physical distancing for students, which means that even in those large classrooms, the maximum students will be about 20 per classroom. We'll give priority to the 1L class, so they'll be able to get together, see each other in smaller groups, and begin the bonding that's necessary to get you alive through law school. And a lot of the classes will be online, as they were as we ended the fall semester. So I'm happy to talk to you further about that if you have any questions. But here's my big point for the Bar Association. one of the things that I'm hoping to put together, and I can't find any history of this existing before, so I'm making it up as I go along. I would like to create a Dean's BSG, which is a bar stakeholders group, to provide advice to the dean of the law school, which means I will be reaching out to you probably sometime in September or October to designate representatives from the Bar Association. And you'll also see the invitation to MTLA, MACTL, McGillis, the Prosecutors Association, and the basic standing bar groups, so that everybody appoints a representative. And from the Bar Association, I would anticipate 2 or 3 representatives, so you have some cross-case type representation. And then I would anticipate meeting on a fairly regular, Bonnie, a fairly regular basis to just have some collaborative conversations. How can we work together? What can we do that will support the bar? How can the bar support students as they are moving toward being real lawyers? What's going right in the world? Where can we have the biggest impact with all of our voices? So I'm hoping that the Bar Association will have a conversation internally and just be willing and ready to find a couple of representatives to join the BSG. Now, I'm clearly, after I got the note from Bonnie, I may have to change the name of the stakeholders group, but we'll find a fabulous acronym and then put the group together so we can all make sure we're talking to each other. And the biggest thing, and I know we've all seen this with the courts and the bar, if we don't have some group that's kind of institutionalized, it's very easy for us all to lose touch with each other. And we don't want to just do this when there's a pandemic. We want to be able to make sure that we're in touch on a regular basis. And I want to make sure that the Maine Bar, which is just, I think, the best in the country, has a great way of communicating with the law school so that we can make sure we're not passing in the night and that we're all talking to each other about the important issues of the day. So that's my current plan. I'm happy to answer any questions. I'm glad to see you all on Zoom, and I hope everybody is healthy.
Dean Softly, we did have a couple questions for you. You must have a feel for how big your incoming class is for this fall?
Well, we have a hope. I'm not sure it's a feel or a certainty. As of right now, we anticipate an incoming class of somewhere around 85 or 86 students.
Okay, and do you currently have openings there for professors?
We have fewer professors. So we've all known for a long time that the law school was underfunded. In fact, it is underfunded at a very dramatic level. It has fewer full-time faculty than any school of its size in the entire country, and fewer resources than any school of its size. So we're working on those issues. As of right now, we do not have a vacancy that I can fill. So we are not in the process of looking for full-time professors. We do occasionally, although we don't need them for the fall, we may need some adjunct professors to assist with various classes. And probably, I think as we get toward fall, I will make a general announcement about who you would send your information to if you're interested in being adjunct. And that will go to one of the faculty leaders to take a look at what's needed and what particular topics we're looking for and that sort of thing. As of right now, there's nothing, we're not planning any new courses for fall, and we don't have any openings.
Okay. I was told by Bill that I think through the static that he had in our connection that he was thinking that you were working well over 60-hour weeks since you started there. We do appreciate your hard work and appreciate you joining us for Bar Talk. It's just a short segment, of course.
Sure.
And we hope you can join us again at some point.
Absolutely. I'm always happy to, you know me, I'm always happy to talk, and occasionally I'm even happy to listen. It's lovely to see you all. Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you, Dean Softly.
Take care.
We're just moving on to business side updates. Angela, did you have anything to square us away on?
Thanks, Dean. It was great to see you. Just a heads up, I mentioned this yesterday. Starting on Monday, which is June 1st, amazingly enough, we will start doing Bar Talk once a week on Mondays, still at 11 o'clock. We plan to allow up to about 30 minutes, won't be any more than 30 minutes. Could possibly be less than 30 on any given day, but just wanted to give you all a heads up on that. And our first guest will be Acting Chief Justice Mead, and then the following week we're going to have Chief Judge Levy joining us.
Thank you, Angela. And just a toss in for those that we're grateful for, or I'm grateful for the last 24 hours in particular. It's been the focal point on restaurateurs. I appreciate all of those owners that are keeping their doors open, whether it's through being able to pick up takeout or getting ready for the new start. So here's a call out for them. All right, I think that wraps us up for Bar Talk May 28th, and tomorrow we're expecting Justin Andrews from the Board of Overseers to give us kind of the wrap up on what's been happening on the Board of Overseers front.
Yeah, that was a change. We thought it was Aria, but Aria told me today, just a few minutes ago, that it will be Justin after all. So I just made that change.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, everyone. Have a great day. It's beautiful out.